Hi, this is Dominic from Liquid, New Hampshire, and I wanted to embark on sort of a new project. So I wanted to sort of announce and clear the way for that new project. One thing that I think I'm going to try to do in my podcast coming up is I want to talk about the New Hampshire Executive Council because that is a group of people that there are elections happening right now for executive council. Democrats and Republicans alike across the state are running campaigns and running candidates for the executive council. And it's a group of people that a lot of people in New Hampshire don't know a lot about. And I'm hearing a lot of people say, especially people running these campaigns, say, man, I wish people in New Hampshire knew how important it was to vote on this position because people know to vote for governors. They kind of know to vote for their state representatives, but they've never even really heard of the executive council. It's not a term most people would know. So, because of that, I think I want to inform people that the executive council exists and what it does, but also I'm kind of critical of the executive council. So I looked into it, right? I have notes. I looked into it and I found information about what it's for. The basic idea of what the Executive Council does and what it's for, here's your Executive Council 101 education, is it's meant to be a check on the governor. So it's a part of the executive branch, technically, and what happens is after a bill gets passed through the legislature, it will go to the governor's desk to either approve it or veto it. And the executive council is a check on him. They can also approve or veto things after that step. The idea was to sort of secure people's liberties in New Hampshire by holding the governor a bit more accountable. But having done a little bit of reading on the issue and on the history of these sorts of institutions, what I've found consistently is that institutions that are supposedly to place a check on the majority in terms of people's liberty, those institutions can cause a lot of harm. That's what the Electoral College is designed to do. The Electoral College is something a lot of people, on the left and right, I think on the left especially, are against. They would say it's undemocratic, it's a product of a bygone time. And so I wanted to do a project where I ask people who actually work directly in the Executive Council and work in relation to the Executive Council, do you think this institution should even exist? Because if its job is to be a check on the majority, is that counter-democratic? Is it a vital counter-democratic check? Is it a harmful counter-democratic check? Because that seems to be left out of the conversation. Especially considering the fact that voters don't know about it. It kind of seems like a body that has very little public oversight or accountability, very little public scrutiny, is able to place a check on what laws get passed by our state representatives and our governor, who we actually pay attention to and actually show up to vote for in New Hampshire. So I'm not sure. I think my position is that we shouldn't have an executive council, but I want to be open-minded and I want to talk to people who are actually in the institution, and I think it's a very good example of what this podcast is going to be for. It's going to be for New Hampshire specific issues like this and for stepping back and asking, why are we even doing this way at all? So yeah, look forward to me hosting interviews with people running for executive council, people in executive council, because I'd really like to field as many of their opinions as possible on this issue.